Today we're putting some new shoes on the Cayenne. Okay guys, big day today for the Cayenne build, really for any build. We're doing wheels and tires. So the number one way to change your car is wheels and tires. In my opinion, it's an awesome investment. It tends to be kind of expensive, I guess compared relative to like a roof rack or running boards or things like that. But generally, if you really want to change the look, stance, fitment, wheel style, wheel size, that's all kind of like number one on a build. So I'm going to walk you through what we chose for the Cayenne. We're going to go over and get it taken care of this afternoon, and then I'll show you how it looks once it's on. Okay, so this is the wheel we chose. You can see in front of you here. The stock wheels on this car are 20-inch, and they are just the very standard stock. I think this is probably like the base wheel you get. I don't think this car was spec'd with any kind of wheel upgrade. So those are 20s. They're running, what, 275, 45 in the front, and in the back, 275, 45. So square setup. The stock setup for this car, for the 958.1, is a square setup. You can run these cars in a staggered setup, meaning bigger wheel or bigger tire width in the back versus the front. That will help with turn-in, so it causes the car to turn in better. I've got that running, for instance, on the M3. The square setup gives you a little more stability. It gives you a little more uniform feel on the road. It definitely drives like straighter, if you will, like higher highway speeds, things like that. It feels much more stable in the front end because you're typically running a little bit wider tire in the front to match the rear, because you're square versus staggered, where the front's going to be more narrow and the rear's going to be wider. So, advantages, disadvantages. People talk a lot about the fact that a square setup can be rotated more effectively, meaning all these tires being the same width, this tire and wheel can go on any of the other 3 locations you want. So you can go front to back, left to right, supposedly get more tire wear out of that. We'll see. I've never really run a square setup, to be honest, so I don't know if that's just like urban legend or if that holds true. But nonetheless, we're going to stick with the square setup on this car as opposed to the staggered. And like I said, going up to the 21. So these are the Spyder RS Cayenne wheels. So I believe these are an optioned wheel in the latest gen of the Porsche Cayenne. I've seen these wheels on cars and I just have always really loved them. They've got kind of this really beautiful, geometric spoke look. I think it's just a very like classy but also sporty look. The wheel does have a little bit of profile, so it's like slightly concave, just barely, which I think again gives it some interest. And then I really like the two-tone. So this is just a very subtle, gunmetal color on the inner barrel and this inner piece here. And then the rest is finished in this polished look. And so just a sharp looking wheel. So I was able to track these down. So that's what we're going to put on. So for tires, we're going with these Falcons. These are the Azenzas 460 AS. Have not run Falcons, but I've heard really good things. The bang for the buck on these is crazy. They're very reasonable. A set of these on Tire Rack was like half the price of, Pirelli's, Michelin's, those kinds of things, even like Yokohama and, things like that. So they're great price point. They get very good reviews. I have several Porsche and BMW friends who have run Falcons and swear by them. They say they're really good tires. So we got these in a 295/35. So we're basically going, 20 millimeters wider. This is a 10-inch wheel up front. So we're going to go 21 by 10 all around. So that'll give us a little wider stance, a little wider profile. And the 35 is just a tiny step down in terms of the sidewall profile. Those are 45s. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good look. So we're going to go and get these on the local shop. And then we'll understand kind of how the fitment works. Remember, we've got wheel arch upgrades that I'm going to mock up. I think I'm going to put them on, but I want to mock them up and see if I like the look or not. But assuming we do that, then we're going to probably get into spacer situations because, as you guys can tell from my M3 here, I really like stanced, tucked, good looking wheel setup. So almost always run spacers. The track and the setup and the amount of space between the outside fender lip and the wheel on stock cars is almost always not good. Let's just leave it at that. So that's my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own, but we are definitely going to be, if it ends up like this, we're going to be pushing those wheels out so that they're nice and flush. So go ahead and throw these on, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like once we're done. All right, so final product. Very happy with how this turned out. You know, like I said, these wheels I think are just super sharp. One of the better OEM wheels that Porsche makes. Big shout out to Discount Tire around the corner. This is where I get almost all my wheels and tires installed. I know there's a lot of people out there that go to like specialty places. Sometimes you find a like big box or retail tire place that just has good management and good staff, and the Discount Tire that happens to be a mile from my house just has that. So I like going over there. They always take really good care of me. But yeah, they did a great job. Got them on with no incidents, you know, no scratches, dings, nicks, any of that kind of stuff, which of course is what you're going for. Love the look. The fitment on these, because of the offset, they actually fit better for sure. They're not quite there. We'll probably go with a much less aggressive spacer than I originally intended, because these sit much closer to flush. They are almost there, but I like, you know, pretty wide aggressive stance. But overall, I really like how these wheels turned out. They're super sharp. Like I said to open the video, there's really no way better to upgrade a vehicle than to go with a different wheel style, a bigger wheel style, you know, something just to set it off. To me, it's the number one upgrade you can do, and so I know that it comes at a cost. That said, I've said this on previous videos, you know, Porsche wheels, they go for a lot of money used. So even that, you know, OEM set that I have on this car, you know, that's a 4-figure, you know, price tag used. So if you shop for your wheels in a similar way and try to find something discounted or a good deal, or buy it secondhand in some cases, these are not, but you know, you can get in and out of wheels without a huge investment. I mean, it's not nothing, but I just don't know of many other ways to really up the look on the car than that. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you've ever thought about putting what are basically the more modern, you know, Cayenne look wheels that come on, you know, a lot of the 2020 through 2022 models on a 958.1, here's your visual of what it looks like. I think it looks pretty sharp. Wheels, that said, wheels are subjective, so I know everybody's got their own opinions, but I love how this looked. I think it's got just this classy, like elegant, but yet sporty, you know, with the geometric modern look vibe to it. So appreciate you watching this video. If you haven't already, go back and check out some of the other build series videos for this 958. Also got stuff for my 991 Porsche that I had, 993, Land Rover stuff, Range Rover stuff, you name it. So subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Otherwise, I will catch you guys on the next one.